I'm Navlika Rethanji and I'm the Managing Director of ICAS Southern Africa. ICAS Southern Africa is part of ICAS International, so we are a global provider of employee wellbeing solutions. For me, I have to admit that earned salary access is something that I came across relatively recently. So I think it is something that is new in the South African market. Not many people know about it. But I do believe that it is one of those sort of milestones in terms of how we see things changing now and into the future, in terms of really bringing innovation to employees, in terms of how they utilize their money, how they access their money, and just how they live day to day. It changes the game completely. So the reason why we decided to look at partnering with PayCurve in specific is because we understood that if you don't position earned salary access properly within the employee base, that it could actually result in more problems in terms of people overextending themselves, not accessing salary advances inappropriately and causing more short-term debt for themselves, essentially. So what we really liked about the PayCurve solution in particular, and obviously we work through our financial providers interface as well, and research the market from that perspective, is really just the fact that they take affordability into account. And that is a critical differentiator for us. So looking at what the employee can afford to access, what makes sense for them, looking at their credit scores, etc., looking at their debt commitments already, and using that as part of the formula to not just understand how much they can access that won't put them into further trouble, but also tagging along with that the financial education that needs to go with it. So how do we ensure that this doesn't become a bad habit or a negative implication from a financial well-being perspective? They're actually learning from this and looking at improving their lives in how they spend their money. I'm sure many people are aware of the fact that mental health is a global concern, and it is increasing day by day. What many people don't always think about is the fact that you can't view mental health in isolation, that there is so many other factors that impact one's mental health and well-being, and we have to look at it holistically. So there's a very close relationship between financial well-being and mental health and well-being, and they impact each other. So if somebody is struggling with mental health concerns, that inevitably they may also struggle with financial well-being concerns, and vice versa. So I think when you put in place a solution that is practical, that feels like it is making an impact in how I'm managing my financial status, my financial well-being, that it's going to have a positive ripple effect on my mental health and well-being. So knowing that I have options and better options of how to manage or make sure that my money can sort of stretch over the month in a way that feels user-friendly to me as an individual, also reduces the amount of stress, essentially. And that obviously automatically impacts mental health and well-being. So with the reduction in stress, which is a key driver of mental health concerns, it allows people to just focus more on the task at hand, to be more present. And that improves productivity levels, but also has a positive impact on mental health and well-being. So one of the things that I personally like about the PayCurve offering is the fact that it is a data-driven solution. It is using state-of-the-art technology to really understand the profile of employees that we are dealing with. And even though from an ICAS perspective, we invest a lot of time and energy in understanding that employee profile, that this really enhances our ability to understand what is going on in the employee population. Financial well-being is a key part of how we want to make a difference to helping employees' lives. Again, because of the relationship that it has with mental health and well-being as well. So looking at that offering in specific, looking at the data that is then available, we're better able to understand what kind of support employees might need and able to intervene at that level. Because that is also a key part of ensuring that a service offering is a valuable service offering, is understanding where the employee is at and meeting the employee where they are at as well. So this allows us some cross-functionality in terms of saying that the employee is not only needing to access some funds during the course of the month, but what else is going on for them where we can support them in where they find themselves. So an example of a single mom who might need some cash to buy some nappies or whatever it might be for their child, what else are they sitting with at that point in terms of the stress factors that is influencing that single mom at that point in time that we can support them with. So this starts to give a much richer profile of the employee and a much more holistic offering at the end of the day.